Alright, hello, this is, well, let's call me Victor. I will show you, or rather guide you, how to play Victoria 2 A House Divided with, on this occasion, with Japan. Now, first things first, options, game video audio controls, stick with the yearly autosave interval and normal difficulty for now. The video options aren't much flexible. Audio, I turned the music off, it annoyed me. You can turn it on if you like, but I promise you it will annoy you too at some point. Controls, zoom, scroll, nothing. Okay, now let's play single. So, this is the world, our playground, and the basic difference of this game and Victoria 2 and the patches that followed it after Victoria 2 is quite... it had many changes, to put it simple. But the game itself, or the countries, the territories that the countries had, it's basically the same. The only difference is that you can start the game in 1861, which you're supposed to play it. 1861 being the start of the American Civil War, and in the 25 years of the time difference, except the American Civil War and the expansion of the United States, we see, well, let's see, I think Italy was formed, Romania was formed, and nothing more. Okay, United States, Confederate States of America, yes, Italy and Romania, and everything is basically the same. But we are playing Japan for now, so let's click on Japan and play. So here we are, 1861, and playing with Japan. Now, some may ask questions like, why didn't we start to play in 1836? I tried it, it does not work. 1861 is much better suited for Japan, for several reasons, which I will explain or mention while I explain you the interface, how the game basically works in every possible detail. So only stick with, you trust me that it's better to play Japan in 1861. And don't try to play it in 1836. I tried it, it's not much harder, but a waste of time. So, this is the map interface. You can change the map mode from terrain map mode, political, zooming, see Japan compared to the Chinese Empire and other countries, infrastructure, which you don't have, because, and I forgot to mention a very important thing. I should have mentioned that at the beginning. The main focus, your main goal playing with Japan at this stage is to get civilized, because in this game there are two kinds of countries: uncivilized and civilized. You have actually a civilization level button here in the map mode. If you click it, that's the top hat. You can see Japan is in yellow, which is, as you can see, a partly westernized nation. And I'll explain why it's a partly westernized nation compared to the rest of Asia, with no one being westernized. Only the British colonies in Asia, Persia being westernized, and Egypt. Partly, the whole of Europe being modern, civilized, North and South America too. Now, so keep in mind your main goal is to become a civilized nation, so we can move forward. Now, return to the infrastructure map mode. So we have no infrastructure. And what is infrastructure in this game? We click on a random region, and infrastructure is the railroad, which we cannot build because we did not discover experimental railroad, and that's because we are not civilized. So again, we must become civilized. Diplomacy, regular. It shows you your territories, hostile, friendly, allied nations, your territorial claims in these diagonal green lines, with you claiming even today in the 20th century these islands, an island dispute between Japan and Russia 200 years ago. They were also disputed. Your regional map mode, you will find it useful sometimes when you conquer. Revolt risk shows you the, well, like the name says, the risk of revolts in your provinces and bad influences due to lack of governance, with the sun having no effect at this point, like this one, rotten roads. You don't have voters, you're not civilized. The only bad thing being is immoral business, which decreases your output. State administrative efficiency on map mode. You can see that Japan has a highly effective administration in the year 1861 in this timeline. If you try to play, I tried to play Victoria to House Divided with Japan from 1836 and played it up to the year 1861, and I could not manage to achieve this kind of administration. It just could not work. Colonial map mode, basically that means you can colonize unoccupied regions. So why shouldn't we just colonize this? We can't, because as it says down right, only great powers or secondary powers can colonize. So get civilized again. Recruitment map mode. If you click it, the green areas will show you if recruitment is possible. So click on a random area, region, build army, and you have the list of kind of soldiers you can recruit, but you should not recruit anything until you get civilized. And if you click on a region that has a coast, like this, You can build ships. Again, don't build anything, it's useless. Focus. National focus map mode. I will explain it in a moment. Now, RGO output. That's basically your working force, your miners and your farmers. In every region there is a main resource that is being farmed or mined. Coal, tea, grain, tobacco, timber. And the difference between this RGO output map mode and the infrastructure, which has also the same indication of tea, coal, tobacco, is that if you click the RGO output and let's say coal, it turns green. Every region that produces coal in the entire world. That can be interesting sometimes if you want to conquer a region and you don't want to waste time looking each and every region and province which has coal, iron or other valuable resources. Population density, it's basically useless, but good for some other information. Nationality, a very informative map mode. If you go to Europe, it's rather fun to see how Europe looks like only by nationality. France, Spanish, Catalonia, North, South Germans, Poles, Hungarians, Romanians, all ethnicities. British, no English, Scots or Wales, and so on. Spheres of influence, as you can see you are blue but you should be red, and that's because you're in a sphere of influence. In this case of the United States, so the states own your ass for now. The Brits, Austrians, Italians, Russians, light red being the UK, United States, your blue masters. Supply limit map mode describes the limit of or number of soldiers that can be in a region. The more green one, obviously more troops, but you don't have any troops now, so don't worry about it. Party loyalty, you have no elections. When you become civilized, this will be explained in detail how this option is important to have an overview. Ranking, your red, blood red, so get civilized to get greener. Migration, your people don't immigrate because you're not civilized, so get civilized. Again, civilization level, get civilized, and relations, well, for now rather useless tool. Alright, so those were the map modes. Stick with the political or the regional one. Either way, it's your pick. Now, in the next video I will explain how production, budget and everything to military works, and the outliner, which is a useful tool again when you are civilized. So your main objective, get civilized. So see you next time.